Yo, what is going on, guys? Got a video here from Cosmic Verse recommended to me by a guy named Matrix of Madness. I'll leave their channels linked in the video description. Let's get into it.
I recently saw an article where they want to make it difficult for women to get divorced.
This new law means that permanent alimony has come to an end in Florida.
Conservative lawmakers are trying to get rid of the no-fault divorce. And let me tell you why this is so dangerous for women.
There is nothing dangerous about it. Men deserve peace and protection as well.
Well, Governor DeSantis just signed into law a bill that would end alimony payments for men.
I recently left my husband and came out as a lesbian at the age of 27.
Republican women say they will switch parties after DeSantis approves alimony law. So
we might see the biggest cat era ever. These modern women are losing their minds. Kindly subscribe to the channel, as it is our sole form of support. Thank you.
I recently saw an article where they want to make it difficult for women to get divorced.
So when no-fault divorce became the norm, the suicide rate in women dropped by 20%.
So first of all, guys, why on earth this was even a thing to begin with, I have no idea. Women are out here literally able to retire because they are robbing their ex-husbands permanently, right? And nobody's trying to make it more difficult for women to divorce. It is very easy for women to divorce men. They can leave whenever it is that they feel like it, okay? But I love how, because modern women can no longer rob and steal from men as easily, then the women are most affected.
20% just based on
From fault to no fault.
Fault to no fault. So going back to fault divorces does nothing but traps women and keeps them in dangerous situations. Period. Full stop.
Yeah, let's not talk about the men who are being stolen from this entire damn time, right? We don't care about that. All we care about is women can no longer get their retirement plans from men. They can't divorce their husband because they feel like it, because they found another guy, whatever the case may be, and then steal money from him in perpetuity. These women are so disgusting to me, guys. They are absolutely and incredibly narcissistic individuals. Right? And these are the women who are out here saying that, oh, women are most affected. Who the hell cares? You shouldn't be getting money from someone who's your ex in any capacity anyway.
This is an all-out assault on women.
So Governor DeSantis just signed into law a bill that would end alimony payments for men who were mandated to pay these payments for the rest of their ex-wives' lives. They called it alimony forever. It protected women who decided or accepted the role of giving up their ability to earn an income to raise families. You know, the traditional Christian values thing.
Women can enter the workforce if they want to. You mean to tell me, guys, that women are out here getting paychecks from their ex-husbands because they gave up their jobs while they were together? I'm sorry, if you're no longer together, get back in the workforce. Do what the man does. Right? You don't see, wouldn't it be crazy, guys, if a man and a woman got divorced and he said, well, I gave up all the cooking and the cleaning, right? So now that we're divorced, I still want her to do the cooking and the cleaning for me. How ridiculous would that be? Yeah, she has to visit my house every week and she has to make me food because I gave up my ability to make food for myself. No, people would be like, hello, just cook or get your own food. It's disgusting, man. And let's be honest, guys, a lot of these women want to be stay-at-home wives. They want to be stay-at-home girlfriends and mothers because it's easier than going out there and working a full-time job trying to provide for both people, especially in this economy, guys. I mean, you got people these days, you know, one man, one woman, both degrees out here working and still can't have a proper income. They can't afford to live properly, right? They're struggling to pay rent and you have both people working. So no, suck it up. Get back in there into the workforce. You're strong and independent. Nobody gives a damn.
Yeah, they bought into that, and then for whatever reason, the marriage ended, and they had already given up their chance to be big breadwinners because they stayed at home.
You haven't given up anything. You will still get hired by somebody. I don't care if it's some menial job. There are always jobs to be done. Guys, women will try and pull this crap of like, oh, nobody wants to hire me because I'm older or I don't have a degree. I'm sorry, I don't care. Go back out there, get an apprenticeship, not my problem. It truly is not my problem, guys. Like, these women, they're lazy. They could get jobs if they wanted to. Now, would they be the best job in the world? No. Why? Because you have to, you know, typically have some sort of qualification or be working in a field a long time. Don't particularly care, right? This is what men had to deal with when they were providing for you. They had to start from scratch. A lot of guys had to build themselves into a successful career before they were even noticed. So don't give me this crap.
And now he's stripped away their income.
No, he took away his money. It's not their income, it's his income.
Makes a lot of sense, right? Reassure women that if they give up their ability to earn income and become stay-at-home moms, that they'll be okay. But, you know, not all of us choose to be mothers, right? Some of us are forced. As a matter of fact, in Florida, if you don't know you're pregnant before 6 weeks, then you're going to lose the ability to have an abortion. And in many cases, little children are going to be forced to have children.
Yeah, because Lord forbid you keep your legs shut and you use protection. These people will make themselves victims in absolutely any circumstances, guys. Oh, I can't go back there out there and work. I gave up my ability to work. Oh, I accidentally got pregnant. This is disgusting, man. No accountability, no responsibility whatsoever. You should all... I'm sorry, guys, but these women who refuse to work, I don't care if they become homeless. I really don't. You know, you don't want to work, that's your problem. Men have had to deal with this for a very long time. Hell, if a dude doesn't have a successful job these days or he's not very good looking, he won't even be considered by the average woman. So if you're asking me to have empathy or think that you're a victim, it's not happening.
Because there's not a lot of protection for young girls there too, especially a young girl that has not had her first menstrual cycle and is being molested by a man.
I love how they always choose like the most fraction of a percent situations to justify their position, right? It's like, oh, we can't put this law into place because 1% of women go through this situation. Okay, the law is not being made for the 1% of women. Sure, it's unfortunate it affects them. You shouldn't even be robbing the guy anyway. You know what I'm saying? But it's just crazy how women will be like, actually, my situation was different. I have this 1% situation and we shouldn't do it because of this tiny sliver of the populace who actually it happens to them this way. Jesus, man.
She's not going to even know she's pregnant and go much past the deadline for that. So I don't know. If I lived in Florida, if I didn't already have a hysterectomy, I'm sure I would be looking into sterilization. I mean, it's just such a mess.
I mean, the alternative is you could just keep your legs shut or use protection like a sensible human being. But hey, let's not talk about those options, right?
Making America great down there in Florida. DeSantis, you're killing it. I mean, you're killing it.
They want us at their mercy so they can go back to their cheating, abuse, etc. without consequence. Thank God, Gov. DeSantis stopped these men from being robbed. These women had plenty of time to figure it out. Equality, remember. At the end of the day, they don't want women to be able to easily leave their husbands. No-fault divorce is on the chopping block too.
I mean, no, guys, you know, you can easily still leave your husbands. You can do that because you feel like it. The women are crying because they're not getting a reward for doing it anymore, right? It's harder to get a reward out of guys.
Good. Alimony makes sense for a couple years, but for life is ridiculous. How is it fair for a husband to pay alimony for life? Giving alimony is meant to help get back on your feet, not live on it forever. The last thing on these women's minds is fairness when it comes to alimony. As long as they get their way, that's all that matters to them. This law is in place because women have been destroying their marriages, families, and children. It's not about control at all. They just fear they won't be as comfortable as they were while leeching off their ex-husbands' backs. Instead of these women complaining, they can get a job, but they don't because they're so used to the easy life that comes from relying on someone else's hard work. The thought of having to fend for themselves, to actually go out and earn their own living, is terrifying to them. They've become accustomed to a lifestyle that was never truly theirs to begin with. built on the sacrifices and efforts of the men they married. This fear of losing their cushy existence is what's driving the outrage, not any genuine concern about fairness.
No-fault divorce is a good thing. There is a movement of people who believe no-fault divorces should be illegal. But let me tell you why it's incredibly important. No one should be forced to stay in a marriage if they're not happy, and no one should be forced to jump through hoops to be able to initiate the divorce process if they're not.
Here's what you're forgetting, madam. You don't have to enter into a lifetime commitment if you don't want to. I'm so sick of these women saying, you know, we should be able to leave at any time because nobody should be forced to stay married. Here's a thought. Don't get married in the first place, right? Like, guys, let's be real about it. No-fault divorce is the ability for women to leave because they feel like it at any given point in time. If you didn't know, they can file for what's called irreconcilable differences as the reason for the termination of their marriage, and apparently that's valid nowadays, guys. I.e., she can leave you, she can take your crap because she feels like it. And these women are like, no, we shouldn't be forced to stay in these relationships. Here's a thought. Don't enter into a lifelong vow of commitment then. If you want to be able to leave at any point in time, just have a relationship. Or better yet, return to the streets where you belong. These people are not adults, man. You cannot convince me that these are normal human beings. They lack so much accountability. They take no responsibility for their actions. They just view it as, I should be able to do what I want. And that's just the way it should be.
Are not happy. All you're doing is allowing more time to pass for things to get harder and harder for you and your spouse. So I don't think no-fault divorces should be illegal.
I don't think anybody should be forced to stay in a marriage where they are not happy. But again, marriage isn't about happiness. It's a commitment you make to your partner. There's days you're gonna be happy, and there's days you won't. No matter which one of those days you get, you are still expected to commit. I just think that there should be accountability for breaking the vows you made. Women think that no-fault divorce is a control tactic, but really what it is a defensive measure against women initiating divorce based on their feelings. If a woman decides to leave a marriage, she can. Just don't expect to walk with half.
The top of the article is cut off, but yes, it says Republican women say they will switch parties after DeSantis approves alimony law. So last Friday, Ron DeSantis signed a bill into law. It is SB 1416 that will get rid of permanent alimony payments. Well, there was a giant uproar from a group called First Wives Advocacy Group. It's a coalition of older women who say their lives will be upended without their alimony payments.
Don't care. Not my problem. Guys, these women literally treat men that they are no longer with like a retirement plan. The fact that somebody else is expected to continue to work for you for no benefit whatsoever is just, it's crazy to me that this is even a thing in the first place, guys. I don't think any of these women should be getting money from someone who is their ex-husband, ex-partner, whatever the case may be. I don't give a damn. Okay? Learn to use some accountability. Right? Get with dudes who are actually going to stick around or that you want to stick around. And if you want to leave them because you're not happy, not my damn problem. Guys, you can give someone the best day of their lives and like you can say to a guy, right? For example, a man who loves video games. You can say to that guy, hey man, you can play video games all day, every day, and you'll be totally fine. We'll even give you money to do it, right? You can give someone like the life setup that they dream of, right? And people are still going to have unhappy days because happiness is not a permanent state. So if you want to leave your husband because you're unhappy, I mean, that sounds like a you problem. You don't deserve to rob him because you're unhappy in that particular situation. You're always going to have unhappy days. There's going to be happy ones. There's going to be unhappy ones. These people that think that they can live in perpetual happiness are quite honestly psychopathic. Let's continue.
The law allows a judge to reduce or terminate alimony payments based on a number of factors, like the age and health and economic impact on the person who's making the payments. Even if you're married for 20 years plus, you'll probably only get 75% of the term of the marriage. There's a quote in here from one of the women that says 3,000 women across the state of Florida are switching to Democrat and we will campaign against him forever.
That was the plan. Not a great plan.
Have you guys noticed that some of my videos have gone missing over here on YouTube? That is because I am slowly moving them over to locals where I can actually host them without the risk of getting in trouble. If you are not aware, many creators are starting to move over to places like locals, Rumble, etc. because YouTube is not really a free speech platform. So if you are interested in supporting the channel and getting access to videos that are no longer available here, make sure that you come and join us over on Locals. The link will be in the video description down below. Supporters get access to their own exclusive videos that are no longer available to the public. So make sure you go to the link in the description and join us over there now. But anyway, guys, back to today's episode.
I gotta say, I never thought that this would be the thing that would wake them up.
I mean, who the hell cares that 3,000 women are no longer voting for this particular party? Do you know how many men are going to see this and now vote for this guy's party? I'm not really too familiar with American politics, guys, but, you know, DeSantis has come up quite a lot, a name that I hear here and there. As far as I understand it, this guy probably doesn't give a crap if 3,000 women no longer vote for his party, because there are going to be so many dudes who see this, and they're going to be like, I'm voting for this guy, because at least he's stopping me from getting robbed. And that's enough to convince a lot of guys who, you know, men don't want to enter into situations where they could just be robbed. A lot of guys are going to see this, that they don't, if they don't know any of his other policies or whatever, like, if they only get this information, you've essentially just switched every guy who sees this to become a voter for this dude. I mean, it was a smart move. I don't know who this guy is, really. But that was a smart move on his behalf. He does not give a damn about this group of liberal women who think that they're deserving of their ex-husband's money. Like, I wouldn't care if I was in his position. I'd be like, well, that was a great move, Taylor. Good job.
I bet free healthcare is looking pretty good right now in your old age.
Which is it? Are women strong and independent, or are they the weaker sex? Depending on men to provide their basic needs, women can go out and get jobs now. There's no excuse for alimony at all. You want financial security? Stay with your husbands. These men complaining about alimony and calling women greedy are hilarious. Y'all don't even have money, let alone wives, so please sit down.
This woman right here is a clown, right? The men making these comments, a lot of them are divorced. But first of all, even if they're not divorced, guys, men, you know, men think about marriage. Like, they see this happening to other guys. We don't have to go through a divorce and lose all of our possessions to understand that, hey, this is really bad for men. Like, guys, I have not been divorced. I'm not married, okay? I have zero intention of getting married, and especially being dragged through the divorce courts and things like this. But I see this happen to other men, and I'm going to sit here and I'm going to go, no, thank you. I'm not dealing with that. You know, wise people learn from other people, guys. They don't just learn from their mistakes. They see the mistakes that other people have made, and they learn from those decisions. I'm not saying I'm wise or anything, but that's how the quote goes, right? And she says, y'all don't even have money, let alone wives, so please sit down. This woman wouldn't know if a dude had money if he dropped in front of her. These girls can't even select a guy to go on a date with. Like, calm down, dopahontas, all right? Shut up.
If y'all are strong and independent, go take your strong, independent ass and get a job. Y'all don't need alimony, and honestly, don't deserve it. If there was no financial gain in marriage, I bet women would marry a lot less or be more selective. We're forgetting something crucial here. Men and women are equal now, so why should the man have to continue supporting his ex-wife for life through alimony, and paying it for life at that? It's just crazy. Women marry for one reason, and one reason only. They're in business in their marriages. They're not actually married. Now they're just shocked that they have to rejoin the workforce and provide the basic needs for themselves as adults.
Did you know that it took over 40 years for the government to legalize no-fault divorce? And researchers who tracked the outcome of that found that there were huge drops in DV and in women no longer ending their lives, as well as decreases in spousal homicide of women. And this wasn't just because women could more easily divorce their partners, but also because potential abusers knew that they were more likely to be left. No-fault divorce saves countless lives and allows anyone to not feel trapped in a relationship that they don't want to be in.
I will say this one more time, guys. But these women take no accountability for their actions whatsoever. If you do not want to get married to a man, you do not have to. Nobody is forcing you into these marriages. Nobody is forcing you to be with a guy that you don't want to be with. And women will always be like, yeah, well, some women are forced to. Like, okay, I'm not talking about the 1%, Cheryl. All right, sit down, as the woman in the previous comment said. Take a seat, thank you. We're not talking about that fraction of a percent. We're really not. Okay, I don't care if this woman, you know, if this the ability for women to leave their husbands whenever they want prevents them from doing awful things. Okay, I believe in self-accountability, and self-accountability says that you take accountability for yourself. All right, these women are absolutely clueless, man. They'll enter into marriages, they'll go through the marriage, wait for a while, and then literally divorce the guy because they feel like it, because they come across a better option. In her view, what is a better option? And she'll try and take him for his money. And I'm sitting here saying, number one, these women don't deserve the money. And number two, if you want to leave because you feel like it, maybe don't get into a marriage in the first place. Don't really care what happens to you afterwards, to be honest.
No-fault divorce is the reason we have such a huge spike in infidelity and single motherhood, not to mention breaking up the family and ruining the nation. The no-fault divorce allows the bad spouse to get away with everything. No consequences. No fault should equal no spousal support. Imagine taking advice from someone who specializes in destroying relationships.
Yeah, half the women who make TikTok videos like this, by the way, guys, I forgot to mention, a lot of them are quote-unquote dating coaches, completely unsuccessful at having a long-term marriage, completely unsuccessful at locking down a guy, right? But they'll sit here and try and give dating advice to other women. It is absolutely crazy.
Nobody should be taking advice from someone who's made the destruction of relationships their job. You're probably wondering why people are saying this woman specializes in destroying relationships. I'll get to that in a minute. She mentioned that nobody should be trapped in a relationship they don't want to be in, which I agree with. However, nobody's life should be ruined in the process because the other person breaks their marriage contract either. It's essential to balance the right to leave an unhappy relationship with the responsibility to handle the consequences fairly and respectfully. These women have no idea how hard it is for a man to rebuild himself after he's lost everything. Today's marriages don't even last a decade anymore. It lasts weeks, at best a few months. But here's why they say she causes destruction in relationships.
If your husband is a good guy, but you're ready for divorce, you're not a bad person. So don't let guilt get the best of you. You're not doing him any favors by staying. If anything, you're actually going to start building up resentment. Your relationship doesn't have to be toxic to validate your feelings of wanting to leave. Think of it this way. If he's a good guy, he deserves to be happy. That means he deserves to be with somebody who values him and wants him just the way he is. If that's not you, you gotta let him go.
I always see these videos, guys, of women divorcing their husbands, and you ask them about it, and here's what happens. Half the time they say he was awful, but they can never prove it. Absolutely never, right? They'll say, oh yeah, he was emotionally abusive and all of this kind of stuff. And then the other half of the time they sit there and go, oh, he was a great guy, but I was miserable. Right? Dudes are supposed to put in all this effort to be a great guy for a woman. They're supposed to provide for them, care for them. And then they sit there and they leave the good men anyway. So you mean to tell me I need to have all of these good morals and values for you and look after you, but you're just going to leave because you get bored, right? This is why, guys, I think that dudes should never really cultivate their morals for women. They should make them for themselves, right? Be a good person, but don't try and do it for the approval of a woman, because they don't even care to begin with. I mean, every single one of these girls says that they care about morals and integrity. I mean, we've heard the spiels before. But truthfully, they don't. They leave the good men, to be honest with you. The guys who give them everything, right? They just become boring. Truthfully told, guys, they just become boring, right? You can be the best man in the world, but if you're not attractive and you're not at least making an effort, for example, in the gym, I mean, a lot of these women will just straight up leave you, and they want to sit here and talk about love and caring for someone. It's crazy.
You may not see it like this right now, but you're doing both of you a favor.
You need help.
Florida family law tip of the day. Governor DeSantis did sign the alimony reform bill yesterday, so effective today, July 1st, permanent alimony is a thing of the past in Florida. In addition, it limits the amount of alimony the recipient can get to their reasonable need or 35% of the difference of the parties' net incomes, whichever is less. So
Guys, we're going to end the video here, but I just want to say something. I don't think these women should be getting any of the dude's money at all. Right? It is crazy to me. You are strong. You are independent. Go out there, join the workforce, and earn your own money. Right? The fact that men are still responsible for you in today's day and age is absolutely disgusting. But guys, we're going to be leaving it there. As always, make sure you take care of yourselves. And guys, I will be seeing you all in the next one. Peace.